Hello, it's Kristen Bryant with Stamping with Kristen. Today I want to show you a couple cards I made using Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper. This is a pack of 6x6 Designer Series paper sheets that are just beautiful. They're just beautiful paintings like made into paper. The back sides are like this. I love this one. I just think that's so pretty. I'm going to be focusing on these two today. And I'm going to use these two sheets to make the two cards. You can interchange these if you like one of the others designs. So I'm going to start using this piece. And I saw Lissa Zwillinek made this adorable card last week, and I just wanted to make one right away because I just thought it was so beautiful. And so I'm going to do a card just like she did. I'm going to use my paper trimmer here, and on my notes it just says cut 3/4 inch off the bottom. So I'm going to open this up, whoops, because I'm going to use the rest of the Designer Series paper except for that 3/4 inch. So I'm going to move this to here and cut that off. The darker one is cut, this one is score. And so now I'm gonna move the cutting one out of the way because we are now going to score the left side. I'm gonna do it this way, at 2 inches. So now, because this is 6x6, this is 2 inches, so I'll have 4 inches left. So I'm gonna move this aside. And so I'm gonna now just score. I'll make a good crease with my bone folder here. And I chose this sheet because I liked how this side looked with it too. It looked just great. And so I'm gonna use garden green with this. There are so many different colors that work with this pack of Designer Series paper, but I just thought this looked good with this side. So I'm gonna take some of my adhesive here, put a little in each corner. And I'm going to put this just like that. And then now I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4, and then I'm going to have it by 3 3/4. I'm going to make a little piece for right here. And so I'll get my trimmer back up. And then I'm going to use the other side for my other card. I always like to see how I can use my other part of the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to go to 2 3/4. I'm using the left side here. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to save this for the next card that I'm about to make. Set this aside. Oops. I forgot to make it so it's by 3 3/4. It's too tall as is. So I want to cut off the tree part so that I can see most of the bottom. So here we go. All right, so now I have this piece like this. I like this because I'm gonna do my greeting up here in the sky. And so I am using this brand new, you can't order it till May when our new catalog comes out. This is our new catalog if you haven't seen it yet. It is full of amazing ideas, and this is one of the new stamp sets in it. It's actually a bundle. It comes with some dies that go with it, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to use the new greetings so that I'm not going to use any that retire, and then the video won't have current stuff in it anymore. So I'm going to use the happy birthday from here, and I'm going to use garden green, and I'm just going to stamp directly on the Designer Series paper. So let's press that good. There's my happy birthday. So since this sheet is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, I have a 3 inch by 4 inch white piece that I'm going to mount it on. And so I'm just going to put a little bit here and there. Put this on like that. And then, oh shoot, I messed up. I did this before too. I'm just so used to just doing the whole thing. We're only wanting to do adhesive on one side. So I'm actually just gonna do this. Otherwise I would seal my card shut, and that is not the look we're going for here. So I'm gonna put this so it's in the center. So then you don't have the adhesive there. And then I'm gonna take this piece, this is also cut at 3 inches by 4 inches. And so I'm just going to line this up so it fits just behind it. And then you'll write on this part. So I didn't want to have it so that I didn't want to see the white. There's a little bit of adhesive there. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some adhesives. These are the tinsel gems, and they are not leaving us. So I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm going to just grab a couple of these. Put one there. And one right there. If you are shopping right now, there are some great embellishments that are on clearance, or not clearance, but they're reducing the price because we're not going to have those any longer. But here we go. Here's the birthday card. It uses a piece of the 6x6, and we're using all of it except for 3/4 inch off the bottom. So I really like that. And then this piece is from this, and I'm going to use that now for another card. So then you can make the most with your paper. Crafters always like to use all of it. So I'm going to start with this second card with a basic white. This is the thick. I always like to use the thick white for when it's the card base. And so the next thing I have here is Granny Apple Green. I haven't used that color in a while, and it's just kind of a fun color. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So I made it so it's a 1/2 inch less than what the card base is. And then I have this designer series paper. So I'm going to take this designer series paper, and I'm going to have this be 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. It's already 3 3/4 because that's we cut off the 2 3/4 from this one. And so now I just need to cut off the top so that it's 3 3/4. So I'm going to go to 3 3/4 here, and then just trim off the top. So I have this piece right here. And again, 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to be using this again, and we're going to make a lot of little cuts. We're going to turn this into several pieces. And so I'm going to start with the top, and I'm going to just do this one at 1/4 of an inch. So pretty small piece there. Whoops. Just want to make sure I've got it there. All right, so this is the first one. Then I'm going to cut at a 1/2 inch. Then at 3/4 inch. Then at 1 inch. And then the last one will be 1 1/4. So each one is 1/4 of an inch bigger than the previous one. Oops, I think I did that wrong. Oh no, it's perfect. Nothing like doing it on video and then worrying you're doing it wrong. Okay, so I am now going to lay these on the Granny Apple Green. So this one goes at the top. I like to kind of lay it out first before I add on all the dimensionals, just to kind of make sure I have an idea of, oops. There we go. It's got twisted around. So I kind of have an idea of the way I want it to be. And then once I get the dimensionals on, we use a lot of dimensionals for this one. So I will get it a little more perfect once I get those on. So I'm gonna start with the bottom here. And so I have both sizes of the dimensionals, because for the top, you definitely need the smaller ones. And I'm using 3 because I want there to be, I don't want it to go low in the middle. And so I'll get all these off. And so I'm gonna just kind of center it there. I like to then go to the top and put that one on so that I know I want the rest just to kind of be spread out between those two. And again, I'm putting one in the middle. The mini dimensionals are perfect for this. You really couldn't go any smaller without trimming the dimensionals. So now I'm going to center this, and I want it to be about the same distance from the bottom, or that the one on the bottom is. So there we go. And actually I find it's a little, if I don't press down real hard, I can move the dimensional pieces a little bit if I don't like exactly how they are. Sometimes I realize, like, you try and get them all going about the same, and in fact I already think this is up a little bit more. All right, a few more to go here. Again, I'm making sure I get the middle too. So the whole thing has some depth to it. If any of you have been around long enough that you used to, before we had dimensionals, we used to have rubber stamps that we had to cut out. They didn't come already in their shape. And then we would save the extra rubber that we cut off and would peel off part of the rubber, and that was what we would use for our dimensionals. I kept those scraps for so long, it's kind of funny. This is such a much better way to do it. So here is the design, and so it's just all, if you can see, there's a little depth to it all. And then I'm going to just put this on my basic, wait, oh, getting to the end of my roll here. Put this on here. And then for the greeting, I unfortunately have had a few different people have lost some loved ones, and so I've been doing some sympathies, which they're never fun to do. I have, this is from Perennial Postage, the dies, and so this with sympathy, this is also from the Unbound Love, which is gonna come out in our brand new catalog starting in May, which May is not too far away. It's kind of crazy how quickly that goes. Those of you with kids in school are probably like, oh goodness, summer's gonna be here before we know it. So there's my With Sympathy. And I wanted it to stand out a little bit more. With our last release of online exclusives, these Happy Little Things dies came out, and it's just 2 dies, but they're just great. They add some, I don't know, depth or just color behind readings. And so I cut ahead of time, so you don't have to sit and watch me do that. This piece using the Granny Apple Green, and it just, there's pretty little, but I'm just gonna have that go behind it. Like that. And then I'm just going to add, originally I was gonna put dimensionals on this too, but you really don't need it because the whole thing is kind of tall, or is already standing up. So here's my With Sympathy card. So again, this just uses the other part of the designer series paper that was this piece. This piece was just right there. So it's just a way to use the whole piece on 2 cards. And then this, I use the whole sheet for this one card. So I hope you've enjoyed these cards. I'm actually doing Stamps in the Mail this month is just focusing on this pack of papers. So we'll be doing 4 total cards using the pack of DSP. And it is so easy to come up with cards because the paper is just so beautiful. You really don't have to do much to it. So I hope you get time to create soon and go ahead and mail those cards out. You can be an encouragement to someone. Thanks.